Needham's annual town meeting began with a few surprises. Articles that many expected to cause a lot of discussion were passed without much debate, and others incited more concern than expected. Here's a recap of Session 1, which occurred on May 4th, and the second session that was held on May 6th.
During the first session of town meeting, the members passed just 13 articles by unanimous consent. Discussion began in earnest on Article 14, which set aside funds to study the possible locations for a new DPW and Public Services Administration building. This caused concern, especially from residents in the Greendale Avenue area. In a recent study establishing a master plan for public buildings, the Facility Working Group recommended moving DPW operations and administration to Parcel 47 on Greendale Avenue. Article 14 requested $40,000 for a feasibility study of that area and other possible locations. Article 14 did eventually pass. The operating budget also passed the first night. During the second session, town meeting members once again had to decide the potential future locations of registered marijuana dispensaries. Some found the proposed locations too restrictive.
On first blush, this looks substantially similar to the article that we had last year, and I voted against it because I felt that it was too restrictive, and I see here that it again restricts access to one small corner of town. I'm curious why other regions, perhaps near other highway access sites, were not considered.
While others were in support of the zoning plan.
And I think this is the time to pass it because we could miss the opportunity of putting it where we feel as a town is most desirable, as opposed to having it imposed upon us and be subject to the new regulations which are imminent.
Article 22 passed after a hand count of 170 to 23. Article 30, appropriate for Rosemary Pool, requested to raise and/or transfer funds and appropriate $450,000 for design and engineering of Rosemary Pool and site. People have voiced their opinions throughout the year during public hearings on the topic, and the contention continued during town meeting.
I'm not surprised that the proponents heard support for a pool at Rosemary because people don't like change. But this isn't 1932, it's not 1972. It's probably the most unbuildable site we've ever looked at for any town building in the town of Needham. We have a potential for a community center. This isn't the site for a community center. It's a hill, and it's bounded by water. You've got all kinds of difficult engineering issues there.
I'm also a member of the Community Center of Needham. We are a citizen-led grassroots organization that's been working on a community center for the past 5 years. Time is of the essence as permitting for operating the current Rosemary will expire in 2016. We believe a public pool is essential. We support Article 30 as an investment in resources that is bigger than a pool. It is a project that will transform the entire Rosemary site and bring much needed new aquatic and recreational opportunities to our town. The Rosemary site is accessible, centrally located, and well positioned to be the hub of community activity.
If we approve the $450,000 for the initial phase of this program, we've rung a bell that can't be unrung, and we're on the path to spending what might be as much as $12 million on a pool. Historical data that was supplied by Park and Rec suggests that between 1,000 and 2,000 people in Needham use the pool. That's out of 29,000, and that's for the 68 average number of days for swimming. We have no information at the moment on what the pool and its facility will look like, what the indoor space will be, and how it may be used. An estimate of how many people will use it during the non-swimming season, the estimated useful life of all the facilities, the projected update and maintenance costs, and the projected shortfall of revenue versus operating expenses.
This is the first step in making a vision come true that Rosemary could be a place, as the town hall is, as this beautiful Powers Halls is, where families can gather, parents can get off the train, join their kids for a swim, a picnic, the sunset, where high schoolers can come and use the facility.
Article 30 passed with a hand count of 139 to 38. Town meeting continues on Monday, May 11th, beginning with the special town meeting warrant. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Ashley Julier.